The hospital walls had never felt this heavy. Lucy stood in front of me, holding a paper in one hand and stress on her face. She had just come from a meeting with the neurologist. Her voice was low, but sharp. "You have 4 months left." I looked at her confused. She sat beside me, not making eye contact. "You see, if you don't speak before then, it might become permanent. Your brain might forget how." I blinked slowly, processing her words. 4 months. To say something. Anything. The room suddenly felt smaller. Lucy touched my hand, gently, but something in her eyes looked calculated. "We have to try something different, something that makes you feel connected." She paused. "What if you saw the boy again, Femi Jr.? My heart skipped. Femi Jr. Every time I looked at him, it felt like looking into a mirror I didn't know existed. I nodded slowly. Yes, I wanted to see him. Lucy smiled, too quickly, but she wasn't done. What I didn't know was that Lucy had another plan, one I wasn't part of. Later that night, I saw her in the hallway, whispering on the phone. She thought I was asleep, but I wasn't. She said, "I need a mobile testing kit, child DNA collection. No, the mother doesn't know. No, he doesn't either." She paused. "I just need to know. I need to be sure before he remembers everything on his own." She hung up, breathing hard. I pretended to sleep as she walked back in and gently brushed my hair with her fingers. To anyone else, it would look like care, but now, it felt like a trap. The next morning, Lucy brought me a clean shirt and cologne. She said, "We are going to see Femi. You need to look nice. Maybe happiness will finally wake your voice." I nodded slowly, still playing along, but inside, my instincts were waking up. Something about her smile was too wide, too forced. Her hands trembled when she packed her bag, and she had one extra envelope I wasn't allowed to touch. On the drive to Amanda's house, I stared out the window. Memories flashed again, not clear, but stronger now. A drawing, a kiss, a cry of a baby, the smell of fire, and a voice, a woman's voice. "We'll name him Femi." Lucy tapped the steering wheel nervously as we approached the gate. "Remember, don't overthink, just connect, be happy. That's all you have to do." But she wasn't talking to me, not really. She was talking to herself, trying to stay calm while planning to steal something bigger than a voice, the truth. And just before we entered, I saw something strange. Her phone screen lit up with a message. "Kit ready. All we need is the boy." There's something peaceful about watching a child draw. The way their fingers move without fear. The way their imagination becomes real on paper. But behind that peace, sometimes adults hide their plans. Femi Jr. sat in front of a canvas, smiling. His little hands were stained with color as he painted a crooked sun and 2 stick figures. Tunde stood behind him, clapping like a proud father. "Good boy, just like your real dad, huh?" Amanda nodded softly, but her eyes didn't smile, because deep down she knew. Tunde wasn't the artist. He was just the man who stayed. Meanwhile, I sat in the hospital garden waiting. Lucy had invited them over for a friendly visit, that's what she called it. She returned the missing photos to Amanda earlier that morning, acting like nothing was wrong. But I knew better now. Lucy didn't do anything without a reason. And today, her reason had nothing to do with kindness. When Amanda and Femi Jr. arrived, I could barely breathe. He ran to me like we were old friends. "Uncle Victor," he shouted, hugging my waist. His joy was real. His love was innocent. But the people around him, not so innocent. Lucy brought out sketch pads and pencils. "Femi, can you draw something for Victor? Just a little something." Femi Jr. shook his head. "I'm tired." Lucy tried again, pushing the pencils gently toward him.
He yawned and clung to Amanda. "Can I have juice instead?" Amanda chuckled and nodded. Lucy stood, walked out and made a call. 5 minutes later, a pizza delivery man walked into the hospital garden, or so it seemed. But it wasn't pizza he was holding. It was a hidden syringe. Lucy's assistant, disguised, sleek, quiet. He walked over casually, dropped the pizza on the table, and pulled out a small toy for Femi. "Try this, champ," he said, giving him a plastic lion. As Femi reached out, the man gently touched his finger and pricked it. Quick, clean, silent. Femi winced. "Ouch!" Amanda turned sharply. "What happened?" The man smiled. "I think your boy got a paper cut. Happens all the time. Let me get a bandage." He walked off before anyone could question more. Lucy gave him a small nod from across the garden. Mission complete. I watched all of it in silence. I didn't say a word. But inside, my chest was burning because they used him again. My son. Later that evening, Lucy passed by my room, holding a white envelope tightly. I stared at her. Her smile was soft, but her eyes cold. "Everything is going to make sense soon," she whispered. Then she walked away.
There's a kind of joy that makes your heart ache. It's not loud, it's not wild. It's quiet, pure, like watching your child laugh without knowing he is yours. Femi Jr. sat on the floor in Lucy's living room, giggling as I tickled his belly with a toy lion. He had taken off his shoes, scattered crayons everywhere, and was already calling my name like we had known each other for years. "Uncle Victor, draw me as a superhero." I smiled, nodding. He had no idea he was sitting with the man whose blood ran through his veins. Amanda sat on the couch watching us. Her lips held a gentle smile, but her eyes looked tired, the kind that tired lives deep inside the heart. She leaned closer. "He's so free with you," she whispered. I looked at her. Our eyes locked. And in that moment, we both knew this wasn't ordinary. This bond, it was blood deep. But while we laughed and shared this stolen moment of peace, Lucy was watching. From the kitchen, behind the open archway, she watched every movement, every smile, every look. But she wasn't focused on the bonding. She was focused on the blood. A knock came at the door. "Pizza?" Lucy opened it and gave a small nod to the man standing there, Shrek, her assistant, in disguise. He came in with the boxes, setting them down. Femi Jr. ran up. "I love pepperoni." Shrek bent down, offered him a toy lion, and said cheerfully, "Want to see a magic trick?" The boy nodded. "Watch this." He pulled out a fake sticker tattoo and placed it on his hand while pricking his finger gently beneath the trick. Femi winced. "Ow!" Shrek blew air on the spot and quickly wiped the small drop of blood with a tissue, then placed a superhero sticker over it. "All done." Lucy appeared suddenly with a juice box. "Here you go, champ. You are so brave." Amanda looked confused but didn't question it. Just one small drop of blood, one quiet betrayal. After pizza, Femi Jr. fell asleep on the couch, his tiny hands clutching the toy lion. Amanda and I sat in the hallway, alone for a moment. The moonlight came through the window, soft and silver. She said, "You remind me of someone." She said, "You remind me of someone. The way you laugh, the way you draw, the way he holds my son like he is protecting him." I turned to her slowly. "What would you do," I wanted to ask, "if I told you I'm not a stranger?" But my lips stayed closed, my voice still trapped. So instead, I reached out and held her hand. She didn't pull away. Her head rested gently on my shoulder, And for a few seconds, we were a family. But inside Lucy's bedroom, Shrek sealed the tissue sample inside a small container and handed it to her. She stared at it like it was treasure or a weapon. Now, she whispered, "Let the truth speak."